Okay, that's pretty cool. You can actually start this device anytime you want by clicking the button on the device. And then it counts down 3, 2, 1, and you're ready to go. So, ow, god damn it. There are a couple types of creativity. The types of creativity that I'm talking about are either an artistic creativity where you can draw or, I don't know, visually represent, like create a statue or a mold or something. And then there are people who are more creative linguistically. They're better with words. And I think that at least at this time in my life, music and painting, it really isn't the type of expression that I'm best at. Normally, I'm pretty okay at using words. Now, what's fun about using words is when you have a powerful mind, and I say powerful mind not to boast my ego and not to pretend that, mine is more powerful than anyone else's. When I say powerful mind, I mean harnessing the power that your mind already is capable of, right? We have a lot in our subconscious that is just already answers. All these philosophers or scientists that all they did was lucid dream and come up with the depictions of infinity. Albert Einstein, through a lucid dream, developed his theory of relativity, if I'm not mistaken. And Mozart, or I think it was Mozart, or it was Beethoven, one of the two, some of their sonnets came from lucid dreams. There's a lot of creativity back there that we all have, right? So when I say powerful mind, the only thing I'm talking about is the ability to harness the magic that's already in there, right? And when you can do this, what you can do is you can walk around your room and talk to yourself and to an extent throw yourself off. You can make yourself laugh, either because your thoughts are so ridiculous or because you've thrown yourself into a bit of a paradox because of the way you think. I guess that's a little, I mean, at least for me, I classify that as magic. I think that is the most wonderful thing. That at least, the human capability of that is so special, that not only can I speak, but I can speak to myself. I can form ideas in real time that even surprise me. How funny is that? Like that's, what in the world? There's a bit of a mystery that you have to unwind to be able to do that kind of thing with your mind. And Alan Watts puts it in a really nice way. The aspect about it that I like so much is about taking life too seriously. There are those of us out there that look upon this life and we leave no room for the jest, for a good laugh. And I mean, to a degree, you can't really concretely say there's a purpose or a point or a meaning for being alive, But to a degree, I would argue that you're missing the point if you take this too seriously. This seems to me like it's supposed to be good fun. What if life is nothing more than to be there for you to enjoy it? A product of similar to how you can speak to yourself and make yourself laugh. If we're all connected and we're all everything is one, then the earth, this giant globe, is an extension of myself. And when I'm in the mood for it, I want to make myself laugh. Hence why I talk to myself. So hence why I go out into the world to experience so that I can laugh, so that I can enjoy it. He talks about not Buddha, not the Buddha, not the shaman, but the guru. He says that people will go to the guru and they will say, "Guru, I need help. I'm so lost and I'm so sad and I don't know what to do with this life. And I can't get over this anxiety that's in my life." And the guru, the guru will laugh. The guru will laugh and say, "Oh, Shiva, Oh, Shiva, how clever you are. How clever you are to have disguised yourself so well that even you are afraid. What a beautiful thought. What a completely beautiful thought. And this is the thing too. It's not as important for these things to be true. We've realized that with Christianity. And I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm just saying, we've made our intellectual mistakes. And we have many more to come. Don't think it's going to stop now. We've made intellectual mistakes, But what we know about spirituality is whether or not it's real, the people who believe, people who have some sort of belief, people who have a connection to spirituality, they tend to live longer. They tend to be happier people. So it's almost like uncovering a secret that doesn't exist and only uncovering it for yourself. Screw what anyone else says, because they're going to look at you as though you're crazy. They have to go on their personal journey to find out what works for them. You got to do it for what works for you. And once you know the secret, once you know your secret, it's not impossible to become anxious again. You will become anxious again, but it's your fault if you stay anxious. Alan Watts would say that anxiety and laughter are the same thing. They are a product of a situation depending on how you've looked at it. It's the same reaction to a situation depending on how you looked at it. You can look upon a situation and let it make you anxious and scared. You feel as though you've lost control of the situation. You can look at it like that. Or you can realize, and it doesn't have to be this, find your truth, but you can realize that this is all a game. That what we are is larger than this, that our minds are better than being wasted on petty little tiny emotions. And that this is a joke. And you can laugh at the situation. It's a joke. It was put on. It was acted for you. And you can watch it. Just like a good episode of your favorite TV show. It's new every time. It's supposed to be. You're not supposed to see it coming. That's why we're living in a linear timeline. I'm not supposed to know the future. The past doesn't even exist. All there is right now. All there is right now. So recently I've gone through a bout of sadness, and there are a few reasons as to why that happened. Firstly, there's a lot of distress in the air already, what with COVID. The coronavirus has been going on since, God, how long has it even been? It's so hard to tell. I've been out of work for so long. And then these protests that I actually very much agree with the objective of the protest, but the riots that have come from them because people just want to go crazy. There just seems to be a lot of people who are pent up and locked in their house, and the second they had a chance to jump out, they're like, God damn it, I'm jumping out. It makes me wonder how many people were really in it for the cause and how many people were in it just to go nuts. What good does it do to thrash things around? What good does it do to go break into places and steal stuff? It's not how you help a cause. It's how people are, and you just got to deal with that. But the problem is the media will take all of that and negate anything except for the people going crazy. They don't want to talk about, the police violence and how to actually go about solving this thing. They don't want to go about fixing the system so that cops that do this kind of thing can get their asses canned and then also go to jail. You don't get to just murder people just 'cause, It just sets up a really interesting precedent, because you could end up in a situation where a cop had no choice but to take action, but because this situation was so odd and so strange, it looked like murder, and now this cop is going to go to jail. He's going to be fired and go into jail. And you can't have that either. You know, it kind of puts you in a bit of an odd situation. It would be nice if there were cameras stitched into the clothes of every cop in America so that they couldn't turn these things off. And they also have to have the dash cams on at all times, all over their cars, maybe 360-degree dash cams. And then they got to have their body cams, you know, stitched in where they can't turn them off. It's just rough. You know, I was talking to my father the other day, and he looked at me and he said, you know, I hate to say it because it sounds racist, and I don't mean to be racist, but I hate to say it, but I am so glad I'm not black. I'm so glad. You live a rougher life. You live a harder life here in this country. And that pisses me off. It pisses me off because we were lied to from the get-go and no one seemed to really even get it at all. It's like, we weren't gonna, like, I don't know, maybe think about this for half a second. Our forefathers said that all men were created equal while they had slaves. What? Okay, all men. That took forever. And then women too. God, what were we doing? We're so pissed that other people could have control. We were so pissed that women could take charge. You know, we were so pissed that other countries with bigger dicks were out there. Oh no. Oh, how horrible. We got to go do something about it because we're so insecure and treating this thing like it's so serious. But stress doesn't have to keep you locked down. You know, take the couple days. It doesn't matter whatever you had planned, that sucks, but your mental health is important. You know, you're going to sit there realizing you're not working at peak efficiency and your mind is feeling like it's turning into soup and you don't know why. And that never feels good. That just sucks. Why am I getting dimmer? Why am I not on it? I'm not witty or quick. I can't reply to people. What is happening to me? You know? When that happens, a lot of people assume that they're broken and they go to the doctor and get pills. Oh my God, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, Barry says, you, the drug guy, don't do it. Don't go get them. Don't. You don't use them to fix your problem. That's not what you use intoxicants for. You use them so you can see clear, so that you can fix your problem. And that's the problem with America, is we're reliant on substances to cure us, to fix us, instead of actually trying to fix ourselves. You know, take the time. And this is the only advice I've got for this. Take the time. You have a negative, awful feeling, mentality, thoughts. Go take your time. Go out into the woods. Go somewhere new. Go find a nice little stream to be next to. And think about what's going on in your life. Think about how serious it is. How serious is this? You know, my girlfriend, she hasn't talked to me in 5 days. I don't know what's going on. I know that the coronavirus has hit. I know that, you know, there's a lot of protests going on. I know there's a lot of sadness in the air. Maybe she's dealing with that. Maybe it's not me. Maybe there's nothing that should lead me to believe that I was the reason that she left. And until you know, there's no reason to be afraid. You cause yourself more pain than you realize, and it's you. This is what Alan Watts was saying about the anxiety and laughter. They're the same thing, but the outcome depends on how you look at the situation. If you look at the situation, you're like, my girlfriend hasn't replied to me in 5 days. I mean, you can conjure up an idea that makes you laugh. You can conjure up an idea that makes you laugh. My girlfriend hasn't texted me in 5 days. You can think the worst things. She died. She's in trouble. She hates me. She's sad. I make her depressed. But those thoughts, you are allowing them to perpetuate your mind. And not only are you allowing that to happen, but then you're associating with them. And you can't do that. That is going to lead you down a path that, first of all, you can't even prove is real, and second of all, is a waste of imagination. Imagination is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to have your back, you know? Imagination is not supposed to turn anxious, and when it does, all you got to do is say, okay, hang on a minute, I got to take a step back here. This is thinking a little too hard about the situation. You know? So you take a step back and you think, okay, my girlfriend hasn't texted in 5 days. What's going on? And you can think, well, maybe she's out bear hunting. And don't get me wrong, I don't just think that's funny for the sake of laughing at it, you know? It's only because it's so, you know, how many people's girlfriends are really going to go out for 5 days bow hunting for a bear, you know? Like, but the point is, you don't know either way. She could be bear hunting. You don't fucking know. She could just completely be bear hunting, you know? But you won't know until she gets back to you. And if she ever does, goddamn. I mean, if you're, if you end up going there 2 weeks and you never heard about her again, you might just need to say, see ya. It's just funny how we trap ourselves in anxiety. You know, you have the power to let the stuff bounce off of you. If you think about one of your best friends saying, I don't like you anymore, that can cause some stress, especially if there are actual things in the relationship that could lead down a path like that. Yeah, that can be stressful as hell. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God. That can be really, really annoying. And you got to take the situation as it is. Blowing things out of proportion, getting you scared, all this is going to do is cause you issues in other areas of your life. So your girlfriend's not texted in 5 days. Because of that, now you're snappy at your family and you're snappy at your friends. You have arguments with your friends about things that don't pertain to anything, and they seem pointed. You know, why did I have that argument about video games for so long with my friend? And I was so mean. I was so mean in that argument. Like, what was the point of doing all that? I don't even care about that game developer. I don't really even care about that game. And yet there I was, so adamant, so filled with anger. And that will happen. That sucks. That will happen. And that's why when that happens, that's when you need to take your step back. And this can be so hard. And I get that. It can be so hard because while you're there, it's not like, oh, I'm here, I'll just pull myself out of it. You know, it's like, oh, this is the worst situation I could possibly be in. You're there with it. You're there. You know, what do you think you can do about it? And it's not easy when you're in a negative mood to try to be like, okay, I can fix this. I can flip it. I can flip it. Most people will be like, you know what? I'm going to watch a sad show. I'm going to go to bed and hopefully tomorrow it'll be good. And I'm not going to think about anything. That is your problem. You can't run away from it. You got to go head into it, you know? Otherwise, they will stick to you. They'll stick to you and they'll hang on and they'll be dicks. But if you talk about it, especially with other people, if you vocalize it internally to yourself, see a therapist, smoke some weed, it'll beat up. These scary and anxious-filled emotions will beat up and fall off like water off a duck's back. Either way, there are fans going on in this room. There are a shitload of them. And we're going to see if that affected the recording quality. I also paced back and forth pretty much the entire time this was going on. So we'll see how that looks.